Stanley Umude's story of going from unranked to a top 10 scorer in the country last year.
My brother actually started playing first, so I just kind of followed in his footsteps. My freshman year, I actually played on the freshman team, and I felt like I should have at least been JV. There was another freshman who was actually playing varsity. So I was thinking it kind of humbled me a little bit at the same time, but it made me work even harder, to get to that varsity level, because I felt like I was better than playing freshman, but I knew what my coach was trying to do. He was trying to bring it something out of me and try to get me to, just understand that you got to wait your turn and you got to keep getting better. So then my freshman year was that. Sophomore year, I ended up getting on varsity. We had a really good team. We were a game away from state, which in Texas is real hard to do. So that was the closest we got then. And then my junior year was obviously probably one of my worst years, like as far as mental and, just physical condition, as far as, getting hurt on my wrist and then coming back. I got my cast off on a Friday and then I went to practice on a Monday and then I broke my leg and I was completely out for the season. So that was a tough point for me. People were telling me like, maybe you should stop playing. Maybe you got like something wrong with you as far as all these injuries. And because I had never got injured before then. And it was tough for me to, have to fight through that. But my mom was with me every day. She helped me. She kept me steady headed. And I just got through the injuries and attacked rehab hard. And I got back by that summer. I played with the Next Level Raiders in San Antonio. I didn't join the circuit team at all. I stayed with the team I played with when I was younger. Just tried to stick with them because, they did a lot for me and that loyalty was really big for me. So just sticking with them, and it kind of hindered my recruitment a little bit, I guess, not playing on that circuit team. But my very last AAU tournament in Vegas there, I got my first few offers. South Dakota offered me, New Hampshire, Abilene Christian, and UIW, Incarnate Word in San Antonio. So those were my 4 offers. And, I took my visit to Abilene Christian, took a visit to South Dakota, and I really enjoyed my visit. So I just went from there. It felt like the right fit. And as a freshman, I was like, okay, let me just be one and done if I'm going to be playing in South Dakota, But it wasn't easy just like that from the start over there. I had to earn my spot. So I didn't play much my freshman year, but I think the hardest thing is it's kind of like the embarrassment is what it is. Like the embarrassment of like, I'm supposed to be playing my guys back home, probably watching games, thinking I'm supposed to be playing. My family's probably wondering why am I not playing. So, yep. And especially being at South Dakota, I mean, we had a great team that year. We had Matt Mooney, we had Trevor Manning, and we almost made it to the NCAA tournament. It was a great team. We were winning games. Yep. But looking back on it, I would say I wish I redshirted, but COVID, kind of got me that back. So I'm not even really tripping on that. So played for Coach Smith there, and he ended up leaving after my first year there. He went to Utah State. So with the coach that recruited me leaving, I was a lot of uncertainty there. But I mean, I had made my decision that I was going to stay, whether I liked him or not. So I didn't go JUCO or try to go to I didn't have any stats or film to go to a different school, but I didn't want to go JUCO. So I was, I made my decision to talk with my family, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to stay. Hopefully I like him. And I liked him. I always liked him as a person, but at first it was tough for me to understand what he was trying to get out of me. Like looking back now, it's clear he was 100% right. But, he told me in order to play, like I got to play defense and I got to rebound. And I didn't start at the beginning of my sophomore year. And I had somebody who was younger than me starting over me, which I thought that I was. And I could have probably asked the whole team and they probably would have said that I was better than him, like more talented than him. But I just wasn't doing the little things that he wanted me to do. It got to the point, I remember around September, October, like I knew that I wasn't going to be starting. And it was like, okay, here we go again. Like, I remember Tyler Hagedorn went down that year, and he was one of the best 3-point shooters in the country. And he went down his senior year, my sophomore year. And when he went down, I was like, it's a blow for the team for sure, but that would have opened up that spot for me to start, and I still wasn't going to be starting. So then I was really thinking like, this guy just doesn't like me, because, I mean, you can ask, talent-wise, it was good, but I found out that I had to play that year because we were limited on guys. So, like, even if I wasn't doing that as well as he wanted me to, he was still going to have to put me in. So I kind of just made it to where I was like, I'm going to force him. I'm going to make it to where he'll look dumb if I'm not starting or if I'm not playing. So I remember that year I had a breakout game against Kansas. They were number 1 at the time, at 28, 6-4. And we were with them all the way until like the last 4 minutes. We were down like 8, and then they kind of blew it open. But that was the game where I would say that was the game where it went from me just being a role player to me being one of the main guys. going into that junior season, obviously I said I was in the portal and a lot of stuff was going on in the portal. Like it was tough for me. And the whole time I was knowing that I kind of wasn't even really ready to leave. It was just kind of a lot of outside noise saying like, because especially I had that Kansas game and I broke out my sophomore year. They're like, get out of there. Like now you could go play at a higher level. But Arizona was probably the front runner at that time around. They had Nico and Josh Green coming in. But I had went home after the school season, and that's when I decided that I was just gonna shut it down. Mm-hmm. And I knew the whole time that I was kind of like still leaning on going back, and I didn't want to have any regrets. So I was just like, let me go back and just lock in. But we were projected to be a really good team that year with all of our experience. So it was a fun year for sure. But obviously we didn't end up the way we expected, and COVID ended the season anyways, but we had already lost by then. And then the next season, we knew that we weren't going to come out the gates with all the new guys. We knew we were going to keep, it was a work in progress. We knew we were going to get better, but we were 0-5 on the season. And then I actually ended up calling some of the guys from the team from the last year. We had like a group message. I talked to Brandon, Cody, Hags, all those guys. I remember talking to them. They were like, dang, Stan, like, I was like, yeah, I know. And I remember just talking to them like, y'all would be all right. Like they just kind of encouraged me, And then the next day I woke up feeling great. I was like, we're 0-5. We don't got nothing to lose. No one expects us to beat these guys. And I was just like, we're not going to lose this game. That's basically how I was feeling. Like, we're not going to lose this game. So I took a different approach. I kind of let my teammates go first. And they played well right out the gate. So then it was less pressure for me to just have to get to my spot and make shots. So I think that was kind of how it went. And once I got hot in the first half, and I just felt like I couldn't miss. And then we ended up going on a 10-game win streak in conference, something that we've never done at South Dakota. We won a game at South Dakota State, something that I've never done. And we came close to it. Hasn't been done in about 20 years, I think, by USD. But just the way it crumbled down at the end it's still tough. It still haunts me, watching my guy AJ go down the way he did and not being able to compete with us in the conference tournament. It was tough. It was tough. It was a quick turnaround to have to come back to the tournament without our guys. So, as far as, making it to the NCAA tournament with them, I wasn't able to bring USD to the NCAA tournament. And that's probably one of the toughest things. So like when the season ended, it was like, I just had to kind of sit there for about 2 or 3 days. I remember going back home. My sister got married. I went home. I talked to my family about it. Mm-hmm. And around Easter time, I made my decision that I was going to end up, just doing another year at college. And I was going to still test the draft process to get that experience. I had a workout with the Celtics, and I was working out in Arizona too with Phil Beckner. This is the Be Better, Be Different. Shout out to him. Yep. But it was a great experience, because growing up, it's always been my dream to actually be in that position, but just actually going through it just felt different. So like, I remember flying first class to my Celtics workout, stuff like that. It's like, wow, it's just like, it just makes me want to work even harder because it shows me how far the work has got me to this point. So since I jumped in the portal and after I talked to Muss for the first time, it was like, somebody's got to beat that. It wasn't like, well, let me got my options. It was like, okay, I want to go to Arkansas. Let me keep talking to everyone else to see if anyone can beat that. So they painted out a perfect picture of how they would use me. And so far, it's all been what they said. So